how can you do it better? Identify something that is maybe already is a need and educate yourself on that. But how can you do it better? How can you make it easier? How can you deliver something similar to that but make it better?
I love it.
Can you hear the drumming? There's a revolution coming. Fire things that turn me on, drag my dark into the dawn. Can you hear the drumming? There's a revolution coming.
Welcome back. I am here with TJ Conway. He's the co-founder, CEO of Cosmedica Skincare. How you doing, TJ?
Excellent. Thanks for having me.
You bet. Now, these microphones, you got to have them a little bit closer.
Better.
Now, you and I were hanging out last night at the Sacramento Kings basketball game, but you're also one of those guys that works super hard on this business that you're building. I mean, how do you juggle it all? You still got time to hang out with guys like me at the Kings game, but yet you've got this big business, and you're a board member of the Entrepreneurs Organization.
My wife she plays a big part of this too, so it's
perfect.
I can't take all the
So
credit.
Lucy, you do all the dreaming, and Lucy does all the work. Is that how it works?
Something like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
so all right, we'll get into that in a second. But talk to us about Cosmedica. What is this business that you built?
We're a skincare brand that we're sold worldwide. We have a hero product, it's hyaluronic acid serum. We're the #1 seller of this product on Amazon. We've got 29 other products, and all primarily focused towards anti-aging.
Okay, so you use the term hero product. What does that mean?
This is the product that was the first product we started with, and it kind of led to everything else that we have.
Oh, okay.
We call it the halo effect. So this one did well. It allowed us to kind of expand that brand and kind of open it up to, all the other products that we have.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's talk about becoming #1 on Amazon. What the heck? How do you become #1 on Amazon?
So there was already a demand for that product, and we just kind of looked at it and said, how do we make it better?
Okay.
So it was, better packaging. How do we educate the consumer better than the competition is doing? And I think a lot of it was timing, but we were able to sustain that growth and just kind of, organically just grow it over time. So
Well, let's talk about what the product is. What does your product actually do?
it's a product that will hold moisture into your skin, will push the fine lines, wrinkles out of your skin, and
it makes you look good.
yeah.
Yeah, obviously I need some of that humectant. Now, when you were a kid, we talk about passion, right? We always get told, go chase your passion. And people always asking you, what do you want to be when you grow up? Did you ever think you'd be in the humectant business?
I didn't.
That wasn't what you wanted to be when you were a kid? It's like, I'm going to be a humectant guy that pushes this stuff to the front of your wrinkles.
No, that wasn't.
What did you want to be when you were a kid?
I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know where it was going to fall into that line. I mean, when Anna had said that she liked that she couldn't really see the fact of working with somebody else, I thought, well, that's a pretty good answer.
So when did you discover that I don't want to work for somebody else? Was it while you were working somewhere else? You're like, I don't like this guy or this gal, or was it when you were a little kid and you're like, you know what, I want to own my own business someday?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if there's a clear-cut answer for it. I just, the freedoms that you have as being an entrepreneur when you can make the decisions for yourself, and you don't have so many, guidelines or restrictions that are going to prevent you from moving forward. It's once you kind of feel that freedom, and you can see the results for what you're doing. It's the best.
Well, so what are the results from what you're doing? Obviously, you're #1 in the market. You've got these 29 products. Your stuff's blowing up for you. What does that mean? How does that change your lifestyle? How does it change what you do?
I think it just pushes you to go more. It's 6 or 7 years ago, I don't think we would have seen the company where it's at right now. But it just kind of shows you that there's no ceiling to this, and it's you're constantly educating yourself on how do we make it better, how do we come up with that next thing that that's going to be better than the last, and how do we continue the growth of the products that we have. It pushes you to always strive to go more, to do better, to be better than that competition that you have.
So the competitive nature, right? You're obviously winning with Cosmedica, but you and I are in the entrepreneurs organization. A lot of us entrepreneurs, we know a lot of entrepreneurs, and we have a tendency to chase shiny objects. Look at me. I think I'm invested into a couple dozen companies, and it's like I'm always chasing the shiny object. I mean, have you you've had all this success? Have you found yourself looking to diversify, or are you going all in on Cosmedica?
This is actually a lot better question for Lucy. I mean, she's always like, let's,
She's the dreamer. She likes to do a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'm just like, hey, I kind of get the tunnel vision sometimes, and I really want to focus on, something we have, and I can get distracted with it, but she's definitely somebody that's more in the line of, sees an idea and, it's something that she wants to, has no problem taking on 4 or 5 things at one time.
Interesting. And so she's got a lot of creativity. What about the risk factor? Are one of you, so you're married to your business partner. I wonder, how does that work out for you? Because you're 2 different people. Is that helpful to the business, or does that make things, more difficult that you guys are such different people?
I think it's a healthy balance. I think that we both kind of ground each other. I mean, I'm a lot more organized than she is. I'm a lot more kind of, I can start a task and I can see the end goal, but it might take me, 5 or 6 different side roads until I get there. Where she's very much more organized and, different things that she does. But we always kind of circle back that at the end of the day, I mean, we're a team, and we kind of balance each other out to where it works.
She fills in all the gaps, all the things that you suck at. She basically takes care of that. Okay, that's how it works for my wife too. And we've been married 33 years. We made a decision at the early stages that I would make all the big decisions, and she would make all the little decisions. 33 years later, there's been no big decisions. So I'm wondering, when it comes down to it for TJ and Lucy and Cosmedica, who makes the big calls when it's a tough one?
I don't know if we've had any real big ones. I would say it's never something that one person just makes that call on it. We come together it's. We meet in the middle on it sometimes.
Yeah. Sometimes you just got to compromise, meet in the middle, huh?
Yeah.
There's many times, don't you feel like there's more than one way to skin a cat? There's a lot of ways to win in entrepreneurship. It's not necessarily TJ's way might be the way, Lucy's way might be the way, Mark's way might even be the way every so often. So there's more than one way to win.
I think and one of the benefits too that being part of entrepreneurs organization, it's I have this core group of guys that I have these tough decisions sometimes, and the input that I get from these guys is it's invaluable. I mean, I put me on the spot. I can't think of something right offhand, but I mean, there's at any given time throughout the year, there's decisions that come up that we need to make a decision for it fast, and I'm sure there's probably 6 times that I've asked the group of guys that I'm around, and so far so good. I mean,
Okay, so let's tell our audience what the Entrepreneurs Organization is. The Entrepreneurs Organization, TJ and I serve on the board of the Entrepreneurs Organization of Sacramento. TJ is in charge of all the communications. I am the president, and together we've put around us 65 or so very ambitious entrepreneurs who have had a certain amount of success. You have to have a certain amount of success, otherwise you don't really get in the club. But we break these groups, we break these 65 people up into these small groups. So you're in a group of, how many are in your forum, TJ?
There's 9 members in our group.
So these people, talk to me about the relationship that you have with this sounding board, this forum, right? All these successful business people, and you as a successful business person. I mean, you are able to. Other people bounce ideas off of you. You bounce ideas off of them, and you make each other stronger.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to. I mean, we're all like-minded in the sense that we have this drive to succeed, and there's not one person that's alike, as far as business in our particular forum. But you have this connection with these guys that's, it's like a brotherhood, that you can't compare it to anything else. It's this, it's this trust and this, it's hard, it's difficult to put into words, but I mean, every major decision I've had with, personal business and in everyday life, like these guys, they know all of it, and to have that available at any time that I call or have a question, like I can ring these guys up at 2 a.m. and say, I got this thing I'm really kind of mulling over, and they have a vested interest for my well-being or my just.
They care about you, and they know what you're going through, because these types of decisions, there's commonality among us entrepreneurs. Like, it's the same type of decisions. It might be with an employee. It might be a strategic decision for an acquisition or an investment. It may be where you're going through a problem and you need to figure out a way to dig yourself out versus dig yourself down in there deeper.
Yeah, I mean, it's incredible. It's you lay it all out there, and I mean, in business, it's probably, it's one of the best decisions I've made in business, and I really feel that a lot of the success that Cosmedica has had is directly attributed to the relationships that I developed in this organization. I mean, it's absolutely 100% the best decision that I've made, as far as, related to the business.
Wow. Well, you and I just got back from Salt Lake City. Beyond this bonding that you get in the forum, right? There's this forum experience that is this brotherhood. I call it, it's like AA for entrepreneurs, right? You can tell everybody it's totally confidential. You can share everything there. We do. But there's also a training component, and a fun component, right? It's a lot of cool stuff. We went to Salt Lake City. We heard from great speakers. We were able to go out and hang out a little bit at night. But you come away feeling like refreshed, rejuvenated. You've been hanging with your buddies, and you come back to work, and you're like fired up to go use this new information and on your business. What did you come back with from EO Salt Lake City?
It's sometimes in business you find that you have these limitations, and then to hear somebody else's story where, it's so much further or, beyond what a problem that you're trying to deal with, and to know how they handled, tackled, or overcome that issue, like it really kind of puts into perspective, like, well, like here I was kind of mulling over this, and I can directly relate to this issue that this person had, and it's incredible. There's some incredible speakers there, but just the takeaways that you get, you aren't expecting, and you somehow always find a way to apply this to your own day-to-day things, and it's that's the real benefit. Like you don't really know until you know. You're out there and you're not expecting it, and all of a sudden, like somebody says something, and it's in the back of your mind, it hits some bell, and you're like, wow, like that really culminates with me, and it's awesome. I mean,
kind of a light bulb moment. So as we go into break, just thinking about like final thoughts, words of wisdom, words of advice, besides joining Entrepreneurs Organization here in Sacramento, coming and hanging out with you and me and these other successful entrepreneurial people of all shapes and sizes. Besides that, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs out here who are thinking, I have this dream, I've got this passion. What's the first step that we ought to be thinking about as we think about what we want to be, as we think about entrepreneurship?
How can you do it better? Identify something that is maybe already is a need and educate yourself on that. But how can you do it better? How can you make it easier? How can you deliver something similar to that but make it better?
I love it. Yeah. Make it better. So basic. TJ Conway, founder, CEO of Cosmedica, my brother in the Entrepreneurs Organization, my good buddy. Thanks for joining me on the show today.
Thanks, Mark.
You bet. If you like our entrepreneurial stories, if you like the messages that we bring that inspire, if you want a little more Mark Haney, not everybody does, but if you do, feel free to subscribe. Feel free to be part of our community, engage, comment, share. I want to get to know you better. You want to get to know me better. Follow me on all our social media platforms at The Mark Haney. I look forward to knowing you better, and let's get to know each other better so we can help build these businesses that we love.